What's good, everyone? Welcome back for another session and showcase. After finishing all the missions related to the Fighting Legend Goku GT Edition, I decided to go back in and play around with the Universe 7 category team and just kind of see how smoothly I could end up, completing a run. So, I kind of tested out different variations, and of course, nowadays, at least on the JP side, the unit selection within the category is pretty good. They really did revamp the category itself with the 6-year anniversary. So for those watching on global right now, you literally have less than, I guess, like right around 2 months until the 6-year anniversary hits the global side. But yeah, I mean, the representatives of Universe 7 categories greatly improved with the 6-year anniversary. So you guys have a lot to look forward to. And I do want to break down some of the units I included. I think what I'll end up doing when editing the video here is basically add just clips of the potential builds for each of my units, so that way you can kind of see what levels they're at in terms of how they're performing on this particular run. I do want to point out though, and because I know I'm going to get questions about this, I did not include the LR Goku and Frieza, even though they got an Extreme Z Awakening, for really just one reason. The fact that a lot of the enemies in this event are a little bit immune to either attack, down status, defense down, or stunning, or whatever. I ultimately decided to omit these guys, even though, the full passive skill once activated, these guys are extremely powerful. Just from the overall build that I went with, I ultimately decided to omit these guys from the team, and there's a lot of other units that I didn't necessarily include, like the LR Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, as well as free-to-play LR Master Roshi, or even like the Android 18 and Krillin units. There is literally an abundance of available units that you could easily replace what I included here. But again, this is more or less what I wanted to run, and in terms of like the overall setup. So, of course you see units like the EZA for Ultra Instinct Goku, the 6-year LR, Goku unit as well, and then the LR Universe 7, aka Android or MVP 17. You've got the, pretty sure I included the Strength type LR UI Goku as well, and then a couple of different units like the free-to-play Roshi and Tien. Those are all some supports, as well as the physical type EZA Ultra Instinct Goku as well. So a lot of these working pieces, I just kind of planned out my rotations ahead of time, and of course this isn't necessarily a no item run, so I'm using attack boosting items just to speed the process up a little bit, and just really just trying to have fun. And again, like I said earlier, I'm just looking to really see how smoothly I can run through this event with some of the units I selected. So that's more or less what the point of this run was. It's literally just to have fun. No real I don't know, competitive spirit outside of trying to get a decent enough time type deal. But with that being said, I guess I could call out some of the specifics in terms of like units I included. So we already talked about why I didn't include LR Goku and Frieza, but I did, let's talk about the ones I did include. So I'll start off with the Android 17, or Team Universe 7. I was lucky enough to pull a bunch of dupes. He's at 90%, and this guy, depending on how much, key spheres you're able to obtain, this guy's output's pretty damn good. I think at some point in this run, you'll see in the vicinity of like 10 million plus, maybe. I can't remember. I did a couple of different runs, so I can't remember exactly if this one's the one or not, but this guy is certainly very good in terms of like the appropriate teams that he's on. And of course, the only, I guess, pushback for this unit is, again, dependent on representative of Universe 7 category allies on the team. So that's really, in order to fully unleash this guy, that's that's one of the conditions. I did make sure to utilize the active skill at least once, and it's at the very end. I thought it was, looking at it in hindsight, it was befitting, actually a perfect situation to use the active skill, so it made perfect sense. But outside of that, this guy's a phenomenal unit. I'm not really going to go into details of each of these guys, but more or less just kind of high-level summaries. Of course, the AGL LR UI Goku is just phenomenal in terms of like the built-in skill sets. Has very good offense abilities, defense-wise, able to dodge, guaranteed crits with additionals and what have you. Has the revival mechanic and whatever. I don't think I necessarily use that mechanic for this run, but certainly when all your conditions are met, if you get KO'd, you'll be able to revive one time, so it's certainly a plus. It'll help out on, you know, some of the tougher events too, like the Gaza Destruction event. You know, that's pretty pivotal in terms of like including the Skyfort in certain cases. So phenomenal unit. Again, those guys watching right now on Global, you guys have a lot to look forward to. You know, UI Goku, the strength type LR, I mean, one of my favorite units in the game, so I don't know how much I need to talk about it, but the only dilemma with this inclusion of this unit on this particular event is the fact that, you know, the very last Goku will disable the ability to evade what's, you know, any levels. So similar to the previous Fighting Legend Goku event, it's pretty much the same deal, but you can mitigate it quite well in terms of like how you build the teams. And obviously, yeah, you might take some hits, but you know, that's kind of why I included units like the free-to-play support units like Tien Roshi and also the UI Goku. So we'll just progressively move on. You guys already know how much I love this unit, so no real need to talk about it too much. And then, of course, during the 6-year anniversary, we did get the EZA for the intelligence type UI Goku, and of course, with that, you know, he definitely became pretty good. I mean, the ability to raise attack and defense, which means you can literally stack both attack and defense. And obviously, with that being said, the longer the battle is, the stronger this guy gets. And you know, starting off from the first position, I mean, this guy can certainly already put up good numbers. So it's only a plus, you know, in addition to that, in terms of like stacking toward later in the battle. So, you know, very good unit. Have a lot of fun with it. All right, so the next two are the free-to-play units. I was very impressed, first of all, with the Tien and Roshi unit. And honestly, the same can be said for the Android 18 and Krillin unit. I just decided not to include these guys because I did include 17, and you know, that guy would link pretty well with the free-to-play 18 and Krillin, but you kind of have to pick and choose between who gets the key and who doesn't, right? Because the 18 and Krillin unit, in order to fully activate the passive, you have to obtain at least 6 of the intelligence type key spheres in order to be able to get multiple super attacks in one rotation. So ultimately, because of the quote-unquote conflict of interest, I decided not to include them. But the Tien and Roshi unit with the EZA, they're very good. I mean, they're beneficial in terms of LR Goku and Frieza in that, you know, they'll lower attack and defense and also still super attacks, but from the passive skill standpoint, they do provide pretty good support for representatives of Universe 7 category allies, where they provide Key +3, attack and defense increase of 40%, but they can certainly hold their own. Like, their offensive output's pretty good. I don't know if this run they were necessarily hit as much as, you know, needed to get the passive fully built up, but either way, these guys are very good. And then the last one I wanted to cover is the physical type UI Goku that took forever to not only Dokkan Awaken, but they were fortunately they were nice enough to give this guy an EZA as well, and because of that, this guy's, you know, pretty good for a free-to-play unit. So again, similar to some of the UI Goku units, raises attack and defense. So of course, you can stack attack and defense. In this case, I decided to run this guy as a floater support just to provide, you know, an extra support to Universe Survival Saga category allies of Key +3 and attack and defense increase of 30%. So that's kind of where you know, the placement is for this unit. He's also got the ability for a high chance of evading enemy attacks, so that's also beneficial in some regards. So that's kind of the high-level summary of the units I brought in, and yeah, it's just simply a lot of fun. I would say within the last 30 days, I ran this team a lot less than I did during the 6-year period, and of course, you know, it only makes sense because obviously with more units being released in the game, you kind of transition towards some of the newer categories and setups. But you know, going back into this a little while after 6th year, you kind of get a reminder of how good this category is now, and you know, the versatility of units you can pick. I mean, I didn't even cover, you know, scratch the surface in terms of like the available options, you know, and I guess I'm quickly gonna run through the categories. Of course, I said, you know, LR Goku and Frieza weren't included. The LR Super Saiyan Blue Evolution wasn't either. Kaioken Blue Goku, one of my favorite units in the game. I also had to admit, just because of how I wanted the rotations to be set up. You've got the LR Blue Boys, as well as the free-to-play LR Roshi, LR Golden Frieza, and you know, Android 17, and so on and so on. And you also got the new support units from the Universe 7 category that's, you know, also in that. So again, a lot of you know, dilemmas in terms of like overall decision makings, and I think it really does depend on how you really just want to run the team or your preference on team builds. I mean, it's a good problem to have in that, you know, previously this category was a little bit lackluster in terms of, you know, the appropriate power hitting units and supporting units, and overall, I guess in a way, unison of like the team overall. So I'm glad the 6th year brought about a lot of improvements for this category, and it's simply a lot of fun. You know, with all the mechanics and new gimmicks that were introduced, it just, yeah, it really did make it a lot of fun. So I know I'm kind of rambling right now at this point, but at least for me, I wanted to cover, you know, at least the units I included and just kind of give you my thoughts as to why I included certain units as versus not, and, you know, the overall team build standpoint of how I wanted to ultimately run the event. So I'll go ahead and close out here, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, this is more or less just a showcase or run that I just kind of wanted to have fun and test out, and ultimately it ended up being a pretty decent one, so I decided to go ahead and show it to you guys. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, I do appreciate you guys checking out each of the videos that I post, and certainly look forward to hearing from you guys on what your thoughts are. Alright, I'll go ahead and sign off here. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Alright, peace out.